Michigan is now 3-1 on the season after a 56-10 win in their Big Ten opener against Nebraska. Wolverines continue to have one of the most balanced offenses in the country. They now average over 200 yards in rushing and in passing behind quarterback Shea Patterson and an improved offensive line.
Every phase of our football we're still striving for improvement and want to see gains in all phases, including special teams. Every phase of the football, including the offensive line, special teams, we want to defense, everything. We want to keep getting better.
I mean, we've been saying it all year that we've all gotten a lot better. I know we always focus on the 5 starters, but everybody has been, and then being able to rotate some guys into the game.
We just got to come out and show the world we know what we have in here, and that Nebraska game had to show y'all a glimpse. So we just got to keep on improving. We're not done. We're not satisfied.
I'm now joined by Isaiah Hull, lead publisher of WolverinesWire.com, backed by USA Today Sports. Michigan today in their Monday press conference coming out of a Saturday win over Nebraska, 56-10. Mm-hmm. Some are trying to maybe take away the toughness and the physicality the Wolverines showed on Saturday because, well, it's Nebraska, winless under Scott Frost. Mm-hmm. What should people be taking from this game that the Wolverines did incredibly well despite their opponent?
Well, that they took away what Nebraska was doing good before this game. That's the most important thing. Nebraska came into this game 20th in being able to stop the run. They were one of the top teams in being able to rush the ball. Michigan obliterated them on both sides in both metrics.
We were both down there on the sidelines, and the Michigan defense just completely suffocating Adrian Martinez the entire time, Nebraska's quarterback. What can we take from the physicality and the toughness they showed Saturday and what they're trying to bring with them into future games?
Well, keep in mind, these are all Division I athletes for a reason. These aren't... That's the thing that I like to constantly mention. Like these guys are on scholarship for a reason. Nebraska still is an upper tier Big Ten program. The record might not show that as much, but we're only a couple years removed from them being a 9-3 team. You saw the lines on both sides dominate. I don't think you've seen the lines dominate on either side of the ball the way that they did this past game.
Someone who particularly seemed to take Coach Frost's comments to heart, Devin Bush, leads the team in tackles. He was phenomenal Saturday, and Coach had some glowing praise for him today. Not only Devin.
His play, his work ethic, his leadership, his enthusiasm, all at the highest level. And just as my dad was a coach and Devin's dad's a coach, that's I get sentimental about that. I think that's really cool.
But Devin's dad as well, and them being together on staff. He mentioned there's a trio of father-son relationships on staff. So Coach and Coach Jay Harbaugh, Coach McElwain and his son, and then you have the Bushes. So what did you take away from Coach being able to comment for a few minutes on just having the father-son relationships here on the Michigan staff be so prevalent?
It kind of speaks to the whole idea that family is really important here, is one of the Michigan values and everything of that nature. And not to mention you have being able to pass on that tutelage from one to the next. And he, beyond that, he also mentioned some dads that are former players and who now have their sons here as well. Yeah, John Wangler he mentioned, Rich Hewlett he also mentioned, and he surprisingly didn't mention Chris Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson, the true freshman, has done so well. He's playing his father's old position at defensive end.
Aiden Hutchinson's he's playing a really upper class level right now. He's a true freshman. He's doing extremely well.
Wolverines taking on Northwestern at their place this upcoming weekend. I know they have a great facility, great views. What's going to be the hardest thing that the Wolverines will have to face from this Northwestern team?
Well, the thing about Northwestern is they have a really great veteran quarterback in Clayton Thorson, and Michigan fans might remember that name because he was a freshman back in 2015 when he came to the Big House. So now they have to go to Evanston and they have to play Clayton Thorson in his home stadium, and it's one of those things where Northwestern's always a tough game. Pat Fitzgerald is a heck of a coach. He does a really great job. They historically, under Fitzgerald have tended to have a really good defense. And it's just always tricky going on the road. It might be a little different because Ryan Field tends to almost be more of a Michigan all those Michigan fans in Chicago tend to go up for the game, and
So it's not loud, is what you're saying?
Not for Northwestern.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's going to be probably pretty close to a home environment for Michigan in a lot of ways.
Wolverines will travel to Evanston to take on the Northwestern Wildcats. Kickoff is at 4:30 p.m. on Fox this Saturday. We'll have all the post-game highlights for you later that night on Sports Nightly. Reporting from Schembechler Hall, I'm Dannie Rogers.